Hey guys, Tess here from Tess Fitness at www.tessfitness.yolasite.com. I'm here to present to you a psychology piece today that I think will be of interest to you. Well, I know it will be because psychology affects everyone, and these decisions that we make in our mind, our conversations that go in our head, are centuries, millions of years old and universal. So, whatever language that you speak, whatever you are um, talking to yourself about, most likely this conversation has gone on in someone else's head lives ago, or in your own life millions of years ago, um, or however, whatever your faith is, whatever you believe, but it's definitely not new. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit about what has been researched and just a little bit about resistance. So when I'm saying resistance, I'm not talking about the resistance from a resistance band or the resistance that you get when you're doing a bicep curl or a pull down. What I'm talking about is resisting change. Okay, so whatever you resist persists. This is a great just phrase to remember. Resist, whatever you resist persists. Okay, what that saying, in other words, is avoiding. So we all procrastinate at times. We all avoid things. We often have to discern what is, you know, a battle to engage in and what to let go of. And oftentimes we avoid things on a continual basis or a consistent basis. Those are the things to be more mindful of. So if we're avoiding things consistently, like going to the gym or getting up at a certain time or going to bed at a certain time or, eating a certain meal or avoiding even what we are doing, avoiding the thoughts around that. For example, avoiding the fact that every single day we get home from work and we gorge on a bunch of food, or every single day we drink, and we're avoiding the issue in our life, the thing that is causing us the biggest problem. If you could ask yourself the one thing that is causing you most of the problems in your life, and you're answering honestly to yourself right now, what would that be? So think about it. Write it down, pause the video, do what you need to do to get to the root of the issue. So, assuming you've done that, you've paused the video, you've thought about it, that one thing, you know the thing that you need to stop doing or start doing to fix most of the problems in your life, we'll get on with this, YouTube video. So, why most people resist is fear. Fear is the reason why we resist anything, right? So if you look at your brain, like if this was drawn out and the bottom of the brain we're just gonna call that the reptilian brain or the primitive brain. So long ago in the primitive times, there developed a brain that was without the prefrontal cortex, which is now here, which all human beings have. No other animal has this. Okay, so we are blessed, or whatever, it evolved, and we now have the prefrontal cortex, which means we can make decisions, which means we don't always have to act on our impulses, that we can bring things to the conscious level. We're aware versus unaware, and everything being in the subconscious level, which is a whole other topic. But fear is in the subconscious, and when you fear something, there's three modes that you become in, and this is animalistic and it's in everybody. It's fight, or freeze. So you're either going to get sweaty palms and get red in your face, or in your chest and your hands and your feet, and you're going to want to punch somebody, or you're going to want to run and flee from the situation, not deal with the situation, or you're going to freeze like a deer in headlights and just not want to move. Like literally your whole nervous system will be frozen. This is really cool to become aware of, because once you become aware of these happenings, you don't have to be a victim to fear anymore. You can say, oh, this is what happens in human beings. When I'm afraid of something, this is what goes on. And fear has to do with anxieties, things that we presume are going to happen that may or may not happen. But it's a real feeling based on something that may or may not be real. So from fear, there are always thoughts linked to emotions. Okay, so we're talking about fear as the emotion today. The thoughts that are linked to this emotions also carry different beliefs. So I might think, I'm fearful of doing this YouTube video because people might reject me. Okay, I don't care if you reject me, that's totally fine. But let's just assume, because I have been procrastinating on this for a long time, or fear that I'll let myself down. That's more realistic for me personally. So fear that I won't measure up to my standards. My limiting belief then would be, I am not worthy. I'm not worthy to stand up to the expectations I have for myself. So the thoughts are based around the emotion, and the belief is an I am statement. And that is at the core of everyone's problems, people. Everyone. We all have core beliefs from childhood traumas or, persistent chronic trauma that we experienced when we're in our younger years, or even recent years, or grief or loss that we faced. If you have anger issues, you have a core belief issue. If you have anxiety issues, you have a core belief issue. So these are all things that stem from different events in our lives that cause and when I say traumatic experience, I mean an experience we weren't able to absorb and process right away. So our brain, our neural network was actually shut. It was not allowed to process and work through those issues properly because the thing that happened was unexpected, or it kept happening, and it was always unexpected. So another video, another time. All right, so then we move down to challenging these limiting beliefs. So if my belief is I am unworthy, then I have to decide to myself. So take some time now, fill in the blank. I am what comes up for you. Whatever comes up for you, that is the belief that you most likely have, 99% of the time. So let's say some beliefs come up. I'm not worthy. I am poor. I am inadequate. I am not good enough. So there's a lot of popular I am statements. I am helpless, that bring us to a place of inability to work through and use our prefrontal cortex to problem solve. And we get stuck in that subconscious, that primitive brain. So bringing it back to challenging these beliefs. So I am not worthy will turn into I am worthy. And this is what I want to ask you. So once you take your I am, fill in the blank statement, you put in the opposite belief, and you ask yourself this: 0 to 7, 7 being totally true, 0 being totally false. On that scale, 0 to 7, how true is it that you are the opposite of what you said that you were, the limiting belief? So I am, for example, worthy. My new unlimited belief is I am worthy. On a scale of 0 to 7, 7 being totally true, 0 being totally false, I believe that at a 5, 4 to a 5, probably 4. 4 resonates with me. So if I don't believe that, I can come to something that I believe even more at a 7, which is I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. And it needs to be in the now, an I am statement in the now. So I don't believe that I'm unworthy. I don't believe that I'm worthy, but I'm somewhere between I'm okay. I'm okay today. So that's my challenge for you. Challenging limiting beliefs to become beliefs that you can live with that are not limiting. I'm okay does not limit me. It allows me to make this video. It allows me to do the things that I'm afraid of. It allows me to conquer this emotion we all have, which is fear. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to bleep this out, so let's just pretend that didn't happen. Oops. All right, so anyway, next we have do what you fear immediately. Okay, so let's say I am okay, right? So if I believe I'm okay, whatever you came up with, your I am statement, now go and do the thing that you said that you were afraid of. Go do the thing that you were allowing fear in the past to hold you back. So do it now. Do it immediately. If you're driving or you can't do it immediately, do it, as soon as you can. And If you make a plan to do it, follow through on your plan, because everybody knows, and if you don't know, if you don't follow through on your plans, it's just going to drag your psychology down, and then you're not going to do the thing the next time. It gets harder and harder to do it every single time you don't do it. This is surrender and accept. So in order to get to a place in your life where you surrender and accept, you will as you do the thing that you're afraid of. So that's why that's the next step. So you surrender yourself, you surrender your fear, you surrender your emotions, you develop this I am statement, and you're able to come to a place where you conquer your fear. And every single time you do it, your brain goes, oh yeah, that wasn't too bad. And now that's evidence that you can do it, that fear is a lie, or whatever. Fear is not a lie, fear is an emotion, but the belief around that I'm not worthy, for example, is a lie, because now I'm doing the thing that I'm afraid of, and it's proving to myself that, hey, I'm still okay. Here's evidence that I'm still okay. Maybe I am worthy. Maybe next week I'll believe that even more. So what you do, how you behave, affects your psychology, affects how you think, it affects the way that you talk to yourself, it affects your self-talk, it affects, which is the way that you talk to yourself, and it also affects basically how you believe about yourself, and therefore your emotions as well the next time. So I'm just going to part you with this feeling. Don't ever judge your emotions. Your emotions are there. You can't blame anyone for them. They are triggered by lots of things that are not in our control. So never feel bad for having an emotion. Know that it's normal to feel fear. Know that it's normal to feel anxiety. Know that it's normal to get angry and upset over certain things. It's just what is. And once you have that, though, you hopefully now from this video, you have gotten some nuggets of wisdom, some tactful, real things you can do that will bring you out of that emotion, that you will no longer be a victim of that emotion, but you will be a conqueror. You will be empowered. And we're not always in control of those situations that cause the emotion, but you can always control how you respond. And I'm teaching you a skill in how you can respond by listening to your self-talk. Number one, observing that. Number two, filling in the blank, I am, and whatever comes up for you. Number three, getting a baseline. How true is it that you believe that right now? Coming up with a new I am statement that resonates with you, that you believe almost fully at a 6 or 7, 7 being totally true. And then 5, doing the thing that makes you afraid, because every time you do it, the more and more you will be accepting and surrender to what actually gives you the life that you want and what will actually make your dreams come true. So best to you, and leave any questions, comments below. I am available to respond. I hope this has served you, and have a blessed, amazing, excellent rest of the day applying these skills.